Okay, so now that the Euro 2024 has just concluded the group stage and we've got no football for 2 days, I can actually do some more interesting videos on the channel, other sports, and other topics. So let's have a quick look at channel viewership over the last year because it's very, very interesting. Now, I've compared the last year as a whole over the last 3 months because that gives you a really good sample size. And what's very, very interesting is how consistent channel viewership has been throughout this entire period over the last 12 months since last summer. So consistent. The top 5 countries over the last 3 months compared to the last year are exactly the same. The numbers and percentage of viewers has fluctuated, which is very interesting, and it's more interesting in the last 3 months. There's some definite fluctuation. The cities people are viewing from are roughly the same. There's a couple of differences in the last 3 months over the whole 12-month period. So let's have a look at the last 12 months. Let's have a look at channel viewership from countries. In 5th place, New Zealand comes in at 1.8% of viewers are Kiwis. They're from New Zealand. 2.7% of viewers are friends across the Irish Sea in Ireland. And I've got a very strong subscriber base and viewership base in Ireland, and I really appreciate my Irish viewers. What surprises me is how the US has declined as a percentage of viewers over time. And every time I do these videos, every so often I look at percentage. At one point, the US was neck and neck, around 10% of viewers alongside Australia for channel viewership. It's declined to 3.6%. That is stunning, that only 3.6% of viewers now are from the United States. 2 years ago when I was doing these kind of stat reviews, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that was as high as 10%. So the percentage of viewers from America has significantly dropped over the years. Australia, on the other hand, has gone the other way. It's now at 20.3% of the last year's viewership was from Australia. That's 1 in 5 viewers are Australian. The UK, while still having the same number of viewers, as in overall numbers of people actually viewing, the actual percentage of viewers is now at 32.5%, so about a third. So that's very interesting that the Australians, the growth in the Australian viewership has been massive. And has stayed consistent, as we'll see over the last 3 months. It has stayed very, very consistent. And if I was to do the lifetime of the channel and then compare it to the last year and then compare it to the last 3 months, we would see some massive variations. Across the channel where some viewership has just dropped off a cliff. Now, cities people are viewing from over the last year. Very, very interesting. Now, I have a lot of subscribers and viewers from Birmingham and the West Midlands here in the UK. Redditch comes out at 0.5% of viewers are from Redditch, and I have a rough idea who they are, and they are a hardcore group of subscribers who are fans of football clubs in the West Midlands. Dublin does quite well at 0.7% of viewers over the last 12 months are from Dublin. I'm not surprised. I've done a lot of content concerning Irish Rugby Union, Gaelic Athletic Association and Irish football clubs. Not surprised with the viewership from Dublin in particular and Ireland. It backs up Irish viewership. London, I am surprised, comes in at third at 0.7% of viewers are from London over the last 12 months. Bit surprised by that, although if you look at the viewership figures over the last 3 months, that percentage actually jumps a little bit. So more viewers from London as a percentage of viewers over the last 3 months than over the last year. Brisbane comes in at second with 2.3% and Sydney at first with 6.1%. You look at the last 3 months and compare that to the last year, the cities are in the same order. The percentage of viewers goes up significantly. So over the last 3 months, nationality of location viewership, New Zealand still in 5th place, but a higher percentage, 2.4% over the last 3 months compared to the last year at 1.8%. Ireland goes up to 2.8% compared to the last year at 2.7%. So we're starting to see nations staying in the same viewership bracket, but the actual viewership percentages going up. USA drops to 3.2%, so less people from the USA are watching over the last 3 months in comparison to the whole last 12 months. That is very, very noticeable. Australia actually sees an over 5% jump to 1 in 4 viewers are from Australia over the last 3 months at 25.8%. That's a full 5 percentage points plus jump in viewership demographic. And the UK has actually had a slight drop to 30.5%, so a 2% drop in viewers from the United Kingdom over the last 3 months compared to the last year as a whole, as a percentage of viewers. But it is very interesting that the nations that people are viewing from have stayed very consistent throughout this period. All English-speaking countries, and that is stunning. That it is the English-speaking countries where English is the first language that are dominating the viewership. Canada, for example, was just below this. At points, Canada's been in the top 5. Not at the moment. Canada's slipped down the viewership rankings somewhat. South Africa is just outside the top 5, and of course Afrikaans and Zulu and Shona are other official languages in South Africa other than English, but of course English is an official language. So countries like South Africa and Canada are surprising to me. They are surprising to me that they're not, with their population sizes being bigger than Ireland and New Zealand, not cracking the top 5. The channel viewership for cities where people give their location is very interesting. Auckland makes the top 5 over the last 3 months compared to the last year where they didn't make the top 5. 0.7% of viewers are from Auckland in New Zealand over the last 3 months. Melbourne cracks the top 5, didn't crack the top 5 over the last year at 0.8% of viewers from Melbourne. London stays in 3rd place, but the percentage goes up to 0.9%, so there's a growth in viewership from the City of London. Brisbane, massive growth in Brisbane with viewers at 4.3% of viewers are from Brisbane over the last 3 months compared to the last year where only 2.3%. And Sydney cracks the top of the city's viewership list. At 10.5% of viewers have been from Sydney, New South Wales, Australia in the last 3 months. That is fantastic. So the growth in Australia has been absolutely fantastic. I haven't actually done a lot of rugby league content the last couple of weeks, partly because of the Euros and partly because of State of Origin. I sort of tune out of the club game, and I sort of State of Origin period is that mid-season where I'm just like a bit of rugby league fatigue, if that makes sense. But now I've got football fatigue because of the Euros. But it's very interesting looking at where people are viewing from, and I do honestly believe that a lot of viewers in Australia are not just watching the rugby league, the AFL, and the other cricket content. I actually honestly believe that viewers from Australia are starting to watch the football content, starting to watch a bit more of the rugby union content, and rugby union's having a bit of a debate in Australia about the strength of the sport and the direction the sport's taking. But the one nation that really surprises me and has been surprising me for some time is the USA. It is the USA. If I was to do this channel comparison 3-4 years ago, last year versus the last few months in regards, the USA would be a lot higher in percentage. It would, and I think cities from the US would make the top 5 list on cities list as well. The US, for some reason, the growth in the US has stalled and has flatlined, and if anything, has dropped. Now, I'm not saying the numbers of viewers from the US has actually dropped, but I think the number of viewers at the US has stayed constant. But Australia, for example, has surged ahead, and a lot of the growth that's been driven on the channel is actually from Australia. That's what appears to me. What's growing the channel is the growth in Australia. Ireland as well has been very, very solid. And you look at the small population size of Ireland and New Zealand, I think there's been a fair bit of growth from Ireland and New Zealand as well that has supplemented the channel. But the USA really surprises me with how little growth and how few viewers are actually from the US, considering the population size of the country and how sports mad the US actually is. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on channel viewership over the last year in the comment section below. And what countries and cities are you guys viewing from? I'll be very interested to know where you are viewing from around the world. But from me for now, thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.